Today I'm gonna be talking about the Big Bang Theory, not this, but this geeky show I love. It's an iceberg going from the obvious stuff like the number 73 to more unknown stuff like Bernadette actually being a robot created by Howard. I've watched this show too many times to admit, so you know I'm qualified. Let's get started with basic stuff or tier 1. Raj is a billionaire. Sheldon describes Raj's family wealth as being about halfway between Bruce Wayne and Scrooge McDuck.
About halfway between Bruce Wayne and Scrooge McDuck.
The Forbes fictional puts Bruce Wayne at 9.2 billion and Scrooge McDuck at 65.4 billion, which puts Raj's net worth at around 37.3 billion, well, his family at least.
Who wants to go to Vegas in a real helicopter?
Howard's mother's death. The actor for Howard's mother, Carol Ann Susie, died in 2014 of cancer, which is also why she died in the show. As a tribute to her, they put a photo on Leonard and Sheldon's refrigerator, which can be seen after her death. This is the only time we see her except when she was holding Raj hostage with food. Just kidding, that was actually the show's security guard Olaf, dressed as Mrs. Wolowitz.
Where you going?
Bazinga, the word Sheldon uses after a joke.
Zinga.
Jim Parsons revealed that the term bazinga originated from one of the show's writers who used it as a catchphrase during pranks.
But all week I was slapping that ass off camera.
Sheldon's OCD. Sheldon definitely has some kind of OCD. He's triple knocking, hoarding, germophobia, and just overall very obsessive, which are all signs of this. It's never confirmed, but fans speculate this. Sheldon is autistic. Many fans think Sheldon has autism or Asperger's because of his antisocial actions. Like for example, difficulty with social interactions, thrives on routine, special interest and intense focus like with trains and many other stuff. Though the writer said that they write the character as the character itself and not with any condition in mind. Unique clothes. The gang always have their set of outfits. Leonard wears a t-shirt, a hoodie and a light jacket over that. Raj wears a light jacket over a cardigan sweater over a button-down shirt. Howard, long sleeve button-down shirt with a dickie. He also wears a belt buckle and usually a pin on the side of his dickie. And Sheldon wears a nerdy t-shirt over a long sleeve shirt. On to tier 2, stay with me now. Apartment numbers. Wheaton's house number is 1701, which is a reference to the serial number of the USS Enterprise on Star Trek. Amy's apartment, which is number 314, is a reference to the mathematical figure pi. Leslie Winkle disappearance. Leslie Winkle was a key character in the earlier seasons, being in many episodes but slowly disappeared after season 3.
Wow, a girl scientist. Yep, come for the breast, stay for the brains.
This is because the writers didn't have much they could do with her after a certain point, and eventually the actress quit to join the talk. Sheldon's shirts. Sheldon's shirts often reflect his mood or the theme of the episode, especially his Green Lantern t-shirts, which correlate with his emotional state. Green is courage, yellow is fear, blue is hope, and red is anger. The most common shirt that he wears is a red Flash t-shirt, because he's often upset with having to deal with the less intelligent people he's surrounded by. He also mostly only wears DC shirts as the show is owned by Warner Brothers, who own DC as well. Penny's last name. Penny's last name is never mentioned on the show, but it was later confirmed to be Barrington. This wasn't something that was done on purpose, however it just never came up, and by the time people noticed, too much time had passed. The show's producers have said that there was no way they could reveal the name after this much time and have it be satisfying. So they just wouldn't do it. Soft Kitty origins. The song Soft Kitty is based on a real lullaby that one of the producer's daughters learned in preschool in Australia. It's also close to a Polish song called Warm Kitty, which it ended up in a lawsuit against but was eventually dismissed by a judge.
Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur.
Chuck Lorre. Chuck Lorre is the creator of the show and many other sitcoms. He always leaves some vanity cards at the end of an episode. It's pretty cool to read some. My favorite is 370, where we can see a person in a gorilla suit. You can read them all on chucklore.com, I'll link it in the description. Going into tier 3, some interesting stuff now. The Unseen Kids. Until the series finale, Hallie was never actually seen on camera, which was intentional, as Hallie is meant to be a tribute to Howard's mother. Her crying also sounds like Mrs. Wolowitz, which was a bit creepy. Howard's toys. We've seen Howard's bedrooms at his mom's house many times. It's like a combination of the Playboy Mansion with a comic book store. If you look closely, however, you'll see that he only has female characters displayed, which makes sense as his character is a big creep towards women.
And walks in quiet beauty like the night.
Howard, I've asked you not to do that.
Show's science advisor. The show had David Salzberg, who is a physics professor at UCLA. He was an advisor for the scientific facts and equations in the show. Every week he would make sure everything is accurate on the whiteboard and checked all the scripts as well. He also hid answers to his tests on various boards in the show for any of his students paying attention. Original pilot. There was originally a different pilot, but didn't like it very much but saw the potential, so they made another one. The first pilot had a different theme song and featured Sheldon and Leonard, but had a different actor for Penny. The original title was also called Lenny, Penny and Kenny, where Sheldon was Kenny. It wasn't as good, but still interesting to watch. You can find it on YouTube pretty easily.
You're like one of those beautiful mind genius guys.
Yeah.
Belarus. There was a complete rip-off of the show in Belarus called The Theorist, which had 4 scientists named Sheldon, Leo, Hobart and Raj, while a blonde waitress named Natasha lived next door. The show was cancelled once the actors found out it was a rip-off and were facing lawsuits. You can also find this on YouTube. Sheldon's father is Leonard's bully. I'm sure if you watch both shows many times, you notice that Leonard's bully in season 5 episode 11 was also cast as Sheldon's father in Young Sheldon, the spin-off show. Not sure why they decided to recast him, but I think he was perfect in Young Sheldon, so good call anyway.
You and me are gonna give those space monkeys a little talking to.
Going deeper into tier 4, getting more interesting now. Raj is gay. Raj sabotages all his relationships and even tries to destroy Howard's relationship so they can be together. Maybe the reason Raj never got to meet his soulmate was because it was Howard all along.
But they're very firm, so you got that going for you.
You think?
Yeah, very perky.
Penny's past. Penny may have had more of a troubling past in Nebraska than she says, with troubled relationships and her heavy drinking. Maybe she was cooking meth with her brother and had to run away not to face charges. A theory is that we don't know her last name because she's under witness protection for testifying against her brother. Sheldon Leonard. The name Sheldon and Leonard was inspired by Sheldon Leonard, a producer and actor known for his work in classic TV, reflecting the show's nod to TV history. Hofstadter and Cooper is also the names of famous scientists who both won Nobel Prizes. Young Sheldon retcons. Young Sheldon changes a lot of things we know from Big Bang Theory, like how Sheldon's brother is changed, and the biggest one is Sheldon's dad's affair. We learned that the reason why Sheldon knocks 3 times on a door was because he saw his father having an affair with another woman. In Young Sheldon though, we finally learn who this woman was. It was Sheldon's mom role-playing as Helga, a German woman. Howard's dad's letter. The episode where they find the letter Howard's father left him and everyone finds out the context of the letter except Howard. It's a big discussion what part of the letter was the correct one, but a popular theory is that they were all true except Sheldon's.
It was a map leading to the lost treasure of famous pirate One-Eyed Willie.
They were planning to reveal it in the episode as well, but kept it open for the fans. Going into the depths of tier 5. Penny is a spy. A theory suggests that Penny might be a government spy sent to monitor Sheldon and Leonard after the Joyce Kim and elevator incident. This explains her mysterious background and her quick joining into the group. This explains how she can afford her apartment on a shitty waitress salary and why she chooses to hang out with a bunch of nerds. She's also a lot smarter than she lets on. Bernadette is a cyborg. Howard made big leaps in robotics and finally made a robot girlfriend.
Howard brought a date?
A plausible explanation is that his work in robotics has made an amazing leap forward.
It was a miracle when Howard got a girlfriend, as he was seen by a creep by almost everyone. This all changed when he met Bernadette, who was very similar to his own mother. Each new generation of the Bernadette robot gets angrier and angrier as her system is failing, which explains her quick changes in the show. Howard is an intelligent, world-class engineer, so it's possible he could construct a human being. Even Jim Parsons, who played Sheldon, reacted to this theory whether it was true or not, and he responded like this.
But in a literal way, no.
Sheldon is Spock. Sheldon Cooper keeps quoting and mimicking Star Trek character Spock because he is actually Spock. For example, Sheldon has actually heard Spock's voice in his head before, such as when Penny gave him and Leonard the transporter from the original series. Sheldon and Spock are both logic-oriented and factual, and they have little patience for the games played around them.
To not play with it would be
illogical.
Sheldon's relationship to Leonard also mirrors Spock and Kirk's friendship, the logical and cool versus the emotional and creative. Sheldon is Barney. Sheldon is actually Barney from How I Met Your Mother in an alternate dimension. The characters are so completely polar opposites, and Jim Parsons auditioned for the role of Barney as well. Another similar theory is that Caleb from iCarly is actually Sheldon from the future. He went crazy while working on time travel.
I told you, I'm from the future.
Before I go into the last tier, I'm gonna show you what happens if you subscribe.
Here's your cat. And here's your $20.
Next.
Anyway, time for tier 6 or some darker theories. Sheldon is in an asylum. The show is entirely in Sheldon's head. These guys are not scientists or engineers, they are actually insane patients. To treat them, everyone around them believes they are scientists and acts like it. Penny, Bernadette and Amy are personal nurses of Leonard, Howard, Sheldon and Raj respectively. They hardly do any work, they read comics and watch movies and series. Which productive scientist spends that much time or has that much time for these things? Howard went to space as an astronaut when he was physically unfit. Their girlfriends are all respectively their personal nurses. Emily is a serial killer. Dr. Emily, Raj's ex-girlfriend, was a serial killer, and her love for horror movies and weird fetishes was her projecting her deepest thoughts into something more normal. In the episode where he gets caught snooping through a drawer, she asked, "You didn't look in the closet, right?"
Did you look in my closet?
No, just the drawer.
And it's unclear if she did this to simply mess with Raj and creep him out, or if she was actually hiding something. They also make a lot of jokes or references to her potentially being a serial killer throughout her time on the show.
Like when Cooper Potley's weird girlfriend admits where she buried his body.
Stuart killed Howard's mom. Stuart Bloom may have killed Howard's mom, Mrs. Wolowitz. The loan he got to reopen his comic book store was probably never put on paper, so when she died that meant free money for him. Given this benefit, it's not impossible to think Stuart gradually killed Mrs. Wolowitz with poison, which wouldn't be that difficult considering that she was already suffering from a lot of health problems. They're all actually dead. They are dead in purgatory. They repeat the same days over and over with a specific purpose and solve their deepest problems in order to pass on. Sheldon needs to learn how to be more human. Leonard needs to learn how to handle his romantic relationships. Howard needs to handle his toxic relationship with his mother, and Raj has to overcome his silence with women and be happy with himself. This theory comes from the fact that the elevator is always broken, and fixing their problems will eventually fix the elevator, which happens at the end. Apocalypse. The Teslas and Einsteins of their generation will be responsible for the world ending. They're too distracted by their hobbies and love lives to put their intelligence to effective use. By not using their full intellect, they will cause the Armageddon. It also doesn't help that they're prone to reckless behaviors. This is further supported by the theme song, which sweeps through the universe timeline and ends on the core characters, signaling the end. Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so would appreciate a sub. I made this iceberg myself as I found none online, so I probably missed a few important things, and I also tried not including too much behind the scenes stuff and plot holes in the show. Thanks for watching, bye.